From launching the Age of Discoveries to defending royal power and guarding ancient frontiers, the castles of the Land of Explorers are silent witnesses to centuries of battles, dynasties, and cultural shifts that shaped the identity of the region. Portugal's unique position at the crossroads of Europe, Africa, and the Atlantic made it a strategic stronghold for empires. As a result, its castles were built and rebuilt by Romans, Moors, Christian kings, and military orders like the Knights Templar, each leaving their marks in stones. So stay with us as we explore 20 of the most incredible castles in Portugal, each one a gateway into the country's rich and layered past. Castle of the Templars Convent of Christ of Tomar. The Castle of the Templars in Tomar evolved into one of the most important spiritual and military centers in Europe. This monumental complex in Tomar, in central Portugal, began as a fortress in 1160, founded by Gualdem Pius, master of the Knights Templar. Its purpose was both strategic and symbolic, defending the newly formed Kingdom of Portugal during the Reconquista and anchoring the Templars' presence on the Iberian Peninsula. At its heart lies the Charola, a round church inspired by the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, richly decorated with Gothic and Manueline elements that reflect the Templars' wealth and religious devotion. When the Templar order was suppressed in the early 14th century, Portugal defied the papal order by transforming it into the Order of Christ under royal control. This new order not only preserved the Templars' legacy but became a powerhouse during the Age of Discoveries, funding and guiding expeditions led by figures like Prince Henry the Navigator. Over the centuries, the complex expanded with cloisters, courtyards, and Manueline masterpieces like the chapter house window, a riot of sculpted nautical and botanical motifs symbolizing Portugal's maritime might. Today, the site is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of Portugal's most extraordinary monuments, blending Romanesque, Gothic, Manueline, Renaissance, and Baroque styles. You can explore the massive Templar keep, walk the outer battlements, admire the elaborate stonework of the convent, and trace the story of how a medieval fortress became the spiritual and strategic heart of a global empire. Pena Palace, Portugal. Did you know that the Pena Palace in Sintra, Portugal, is a vivid dream brought to life on a mountaintop? This enchanting castle, completed in 1854, is a masterpiece of Romanticism and one of Europe's most colorful architectural wonders. Built by King Ferdinand II, often called the Artist King, the palace was designed as a summer retreat for the Portuguese royal family and is a stunning blend of Gothic, Moorish, and Renaissance styles. Its vibrant yellow and red hues stand out against the lush green of the Sintra Mountains, creating an almost surreal fairy tale ambience. The palace holds deep historical significance, as it became a symbol of Portugal's monarchy during a period of cultural revival. After the 1910 Republican Revolution, it was transformed into a museum, showcasing its ornate interiors, including the Grand Royal Dining Room and the intricately designed chapel of Our Lady of Pena. Surrounding the palace is the Pena Park, a sprawling forest and garden filled with exotic plants and meandering trails, offering a chance to immerse themselves in nature. From the palace's highest points, you can enjoy breathtaking panoramic views of Lisbon, the Atlantic Ocean, and the surrounding countryside. Today, the Pena Palace is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, attracting millions annually and standing as a testament to the artistic vision of its creator and the cultural vibrancy of 19th century Portugal. Moorish Castle. Perched isolated on a rugged hilltop in the Sintra Natural Park, this castle dates back to the 8th or 9th century. Also known as Castelo dos Mouros, and it was built by the Moors during their occupation of the Iberian Peninsula. The castle's strategic position was a privileged vantage point looking out over the Atlantic coastline, the floodplain and the Sintra Hills, defending both the surrounding territory and the maritime access routes to the city of Lisbon. It was a key defensive stronghold against Christian reconquest efforts, securing the region between Lisbon and the Tagus River. In 1147, it was seized by King Afonso I of Portugal with the help of Northern European crusaders, marking a crucial step in the Christian reconquest. After its military importance declined, the castle fell into disrepair until the 19th century, when King Ferdinand II restored parts of it during the Romantic period. Today, you can walk along the winding stone walls and towers that snake across the cliffs, taking in sweeping views of the surrounding forests, the town of Sintra, and the nearby palace of Pena. Archaeological remains such as ancient silos and a Muslim-era cistern reveal the layered history buried within its walls. Castle of Guimarães. This is the city to explore if you want to learn about birth of the Portugal. The city is called as the Cradle of Portugal due to its historical significance as the birthplace of Portugal's first king, Afonso Henriques. Located at the heart of this historic city in northern Portugal stands the Castle of Guimarães, the birthplace of King Afonso Henriques. Built in the 10th century by Countess Mumidona Dias to protect a nearby monastery from Viking and Moorish raids, the castle was later expanded and fortified in the 12th century during the early formation of the Portuguese kingdom. It was here, according to tradition, that Afonso Henriques was born and raised before leading military campaigns that ultimately established Portugal's independence from the Kingdom of Leon. The Battle of São Mamede in 1128, fought near the castle, was a pivotal moment in securing this independence and is considered by many as the true beginning of the Portuguese nation. Architecturally, the castle is a textbook example of medieval military design, featuring thick granite walls, battlements, and a central keep. Today you can climb its towers, explore the inner courtyard, and learn about the early chapters of Portugal's story through exhibits and guided tours. This castle isn't just an ancient fortress, it's where Portugal began. Castle of São Jorge. Strategically located on the highest hill in Lisbon's historic Alfama district, the castle has witnessed over 2 millennia of change. Though the current structure dates back mainly to the mid-11th century under Moorish rule, the site itself was used by Phoenicians, Romans, and Visigoths. It was captured in 1147 by Afonso I, with the support of Crusader forces, in a significant event during the Second Crusade that led to Christian control of Lisbon. From then on, it became a royal palace and a key administrative and military center. The castle played a major role during the 1383 to 1385 crisis, serving as a stronghold for supporters of independence against Castilian claims. Over time, as newer royal residences were built, its function shifted, and a devastating 1755 earthquake left much of it in ruins. However, 20th century restorations revived its medieval appearance. Today, you can explore the ramparts, enjoy breathtaking views over Lisbon's red rooftops and the Tagus River, and visit the Castle Museum with archaeological finds and multimedia exhibits. São Jorge Castle is not only a monument to Lisbon's layered history, but also a vibrant cultural landmark where the past meets the present. Castle of Óbidos. This remarkably well-preserved fortress located in the picturesque town of Óbidos, about 85 kilometers north of Lisbon. Originally a Roman settlement, the site was later fortified by the Moors in the 8th century, and eventually conquered by Portugal's first king, Afonso I, in 1148. In the 13th century, King Dinis gifted the castle and surrounding town to his wife Queen Isabel as a wedding present, starting a tradition where Óbidos became part of the royal dowry for centuries, earning it the nickname, the Town of Queens. castle, with its robust walls and crenellated towers, played a defensive role during the medieval period, but became more of a residential palace over time. Today, it hosts the luxurious Posada de Óbidos Hotel and serves as a centerpiece for events like the annual Medieval Market and International Chocolate Festival. You can walk along the fortified walls, explore narrow cobbled streets lined with whitewashed houses, and enjoy sweeping views of the countryside. The castle is both a historical monument and a vibrant cultural site, seamlessly blending its past with modern tourism. Castle of Silves. The Castle of Silves was once the seat of an Islamic kingdom in the Algarve. Sitting above the city of Silves, this red sandstone fortress is one of the best preserved Moorish castles in Portugal and a powerful reminder of the region's Islamic heritage. Originally built by the Moors in the 8th century, it served as the capital of the Taifa of Silves, an independent Muslim kingdom. During the 11th and 12th centuries, the castle became a thriving cultural and political center, famous for its poets, philosophers, and scholars. It was captured by Crusader forces in 1189 under King Sancho I, briefly held, then recaptured by the Moors in 1191, and finally secured by the Christians in 1242. The castle's solid walls, massive towers, and ancient cisterns reflect both defensive ingenuity and the Moorish mastery of water management. From the top, you can overlook the old Medina and orange groves stretching to the horizon. Inside, there are archaeological displays, a visitor center, and events that celebrate both Islamic and Christian heritage. Castelo de Leiria. Standing atop a forested hill in the city of Leiria, in central Portugal, the Castelo de Leiria was originally constructed in 1135 by King Afonso Henriques, shortly after he reconquered the area from the Moors. The site had been of strategic value for centuries due to its location between Coimbra and Lisbon. Over time, especially during the reign of King Dinis and later King João I, the castle was expanded into a palatial complex featuring Gothic halls, royal chambers, and the Church of Our Lady of the Immaculate Conception within its walls. castle also played a role in hosting the Cortes of Leiria, one of Portugal's earliest parliaments, emphasizing its political importance. During the 14th century, Queen Isabel of Aragon frequently stayed here, transforming it into a noble residence. Although damaged by the 1755 earthquake and later neglect, major restoration efforts in the 20th century helped recover its Gothic and Romanesque features. Today, you can explore the royal loggias, the keep, and archaeological museum, all while taking in sweeping views of the city. Quinta da Regaleira. This isn't technically a castle, but it feels more magical than most castles in Europe. Located in Sintra, just a short walk from the historic town center, Quinta da Regaleira is an architectural wonder built between 1904 and 1910 by the wealthy Portuguese businessman Antonio Augusto Carvalho Monteiro, with the help of Italian architect Luigi Manini. More than a home, this estate is a mystic dream turned reality, blending neo-Manueline, Gothic, Renaissance, and even Masonic symbolism. The estate includes a grand palace, ornate chapels, and lush gardens full of secret tunnels, hidden grottos, and symbolic structures. Its most iconic feature, the initiation well, an inverted tower with spiraling staircases plunging deep into the earth. Spiraling 27 meters down into the earth, the well resembles an inverted tower, its 9 levels believed to represent either Dante's Inferno or the stages of enlightenment in mystical traditions like Freemasonry, the Rosicrucians, and the Knights Templar. Though never the site of battles or royal decrees, Quinta da Regaleira is a philosophical monument, offering a surreal, intellectual playground that you can explore with a sense of wonder. Every archway and carving holds hidden meaning, encouraging those who walk its grounds to reflect on esoteric knowledge, the natural world, and the spiritual path. Unlike traditional castles of conquest, Regaleira is a castle of ideas. Castle of Marvão. What if the view from your fortress let you see Spain in the distance? That's what makes the Castle of Marvão special. Located high in the Serra de São Mamede in Alentejo near the Spanish border, so strategically and visually remarkable. Built in the 9th century by Ibn Marwan, a Muslim warrior who gave the town its name, the castle served as a vital frontier fortress. It was expanded in the 13th century by King Dinis and later reinforced during the 17th century War of Restoration against Spain. The castle's defensive design, thick walls, a keep, cisterns, and irregular towers, takes full advantage of the mountain's natural contours, making it nearly impregnable. It played a critical role during the Christian Reconquista and again in the Napoleonic invasions, when Portuguese forces repelled French troops. From its battlements, you can gaze across the sweeping landscape of Alentejo and into Spain, a constant reminder of the region's turbulent past. Today, visitors come not only for the stunning views and preserved military architecture, but also for the town of Marvão itself, which seems untouched by time. It's a place where history lives in the silence of stone streets and fortress walls. Castle of Almourol. Perched dramatically on a small islet in the middle of the Tagus River near Vila Nova de Barquinha, this 12th century Templar fortress is one of Portugal's most picturesque and mysterious monuments. Though the site was originally occupied by Romans and later Moors, the current structure was rebuilt by the Knights Templar after its conquest in 1129 under Afonso Henriques. It became a symbol of Templar power, combining religious symbolism with strategic defense. The castle was abandoned after the Order of the Templars was dissolved in the 14th century, but its romantic isolation inspired nationalistic and literary interest during the 19th century Romantic Revival, leading to restorations. With its narrow towers, crenellated walls, and riverside setting, it feels like something from Arthurian legend. You can reach the island by boat and explore the ancient walls, climb the towers for panoramic views of the river valley, and immerse in the mystique of the Templars. Almourol isn't just a fortress, it's a myth in stone. Castle of Evoramonte. Rising from the ridgeline of the Serra d'Assa, the Castle of Evoramonte in the Alentejo region is a striking blend of medieval military architecture and Renaissance elegance. First built in the 12th century by the Order of Santiago and significantly rebuilt in 1531 under the Dukes of Bragança, it features an unusual cylindrical tower with rope-like manuline stone carvings wrapped around it, making it architecturally unique in Portugal. The castle played a central role in a major political event. In 1834, the Concession of Evoramonte was signed here, ending the Liberal Wars, a civil conflict between absolutists and liberals, and resulting in the exile of King Miguel I. This marked the beginning of modern constitutional monarchy in Portugal. From the hilltop fortress, you can take in vast views over the Alentejo Plains, walk its broad terraces, and explore the village nestled within its outer walls. Though lesser known than other castles, Evoramonte carries the weight of national transformation and a rich mixture of cultural, political, and architectural history. Castle of Bragança. The castle once housed both knights and parliamentarians. Set in the northeastern region of Trás-os-Montes, the Castle of Bragança was founded in the 12th century under King Sancho I, though the area was already a fortified Roman and Visigothic outpost. It became one of Portugal's most important strongholds, especially under King Dinis, who fortified it further in the 14th century. The imposing keep, known as the Torre de Minagem, stands over 30 meters tall and is surrounded by defensive walls enclosing the well-preserved citadel. Inside the citadel is the Domus Municipalis, a rare Romanesque civil building believed to have been used for town council meetings, possibly the oldest in Portugal. The castle also played a role during the Portuguese Restoration War and various Spanish border conflicts. You can now explore the castle walls, the military museum inside the keep, and the medieval quarter with its traditional stone houses. Castle of Montemor-o-Velho. Dominating the Mondego River floodplain in central Portugal, the Castle of Montemor-o-Velho is a massive fortress with roots going back to at least the 9th century. First held by the Moors and then captured by Christian forces in the 11th century, the castle became a vital line of defense during the Reconquista. It was later favored by King Dinis and his successors, undergoing major renovations to house a royal residence. In the 14th century, Queen Isabel of Aragon, later canonized as a saint, frequented the castle, enhancing its religious significance. During the 17th century, it saw further changes when the town's prosperity shifted due to the nearby rise of Coimbra. The castle's vast perimeter wall, crenellated towers, and hilltop setting offer extraordinary views over rice paddies and the Mondego Valley. It now hosts music festivals, cultural events, and even open-air theater. Castle of Monsanto. What if the most Portuguese village in Portugal also had one of the country's most remarkable castles carved into stone? That's exactly the case with the Castle of Monsanto, perched atop the granite cliffs of Monsanto in central Portugal. Built in the 12th century after the Christian conquest, it was fortified by the Knights Templar under the orders of King Afonso Henriques. What makes this castle unique is how it blends into the jagged granite boulders of the mountain itself. Massive stones become part of its walls and towers. Legend has it that during a long siege, the townspeople tricked the enemy into retreating by throwing a single fattened calf over the wall, making it appear they had endless supplies. The castle suffered significant damage in the 18th century from an accidental explosion, but its haunting ruins still stand dramatically against the sky. You can climb through narrow stone paths, explore the remains of towers, and witness one of the most stunning panoramic views in all of Portugal. Monsanto's castle is not just architecture. It's geology, myth, and history fused into one unforgettable fortress. Castle of Sabugal. Set near the Spanish border in Portugal's central Beja interior region, this castle survived fire, war, and even ice-cold winters. Originally built by the Leonese in the 12th century and rebuilt under King Dinis in the early 14th century, it played a vital role in defending Portugal's eastern frontier. One of its most distinctive features is the pentagonal keep, an unusual shape in Portuguese military architecture, designed for both strength and visibility. Sabugal gained historical significance during the Peninsular War when British and Portuguese troops, under the Duke of Wellington, clashed with Napoleon's forces nearby in the Battle of Sabugal in 1811. The castle's strategic importance lay in controlling access through the Coa River Valley. Today, you can walk the fortified walls, explore the keep and small exhibition space, and enjoy sweeping views of the countryside. Despite its remote location, Sabugal offers one of Portugal's best-preserved medieval strongholds and a clear lens into the nation's border struggles. Castle of Mértola. This castle stands at the crossroads of civilizations for over 2,000 years. Overlooking the Guadiana River in southeastern Portugal, the Castle of Mértola is built atop a site that has seen Phoenicians, Romans, Visigoths, Moors, and Christians all leave their mark. The current medieval structure was constructed in the 13th century by King Sancho II after he captured the city from the Moors in 1238. But archaeological excavations reveal a long and layered past. During the Islamic period, Mértola became an important river port and a center of culture and trade. Remarkably, a preserved Islamic mosque from this era was converted into the current parish church, making it one of the few examples of Islamic religious architecture surviving in Portugal. The castle's commanding position allowed it to guard the river border and control regional trade. Today, the castle offers stunning views of the town's whitewashed houses and the Guadiana Valley. You can explore its reconstructed keep, walk through the medieval walls, and see exhibits on the site's unique archaeological heritage. Castelo de Palmela. This is one of the few in Portugal to have been used continuously from Roman times through the 19th century. Rising over the Arraiolos hills just southeast of Lisbon, the Castelo de Palmela has seen centuries of occupation. First as a Roman outpost, then a Moorish fortress, and finally a major Christian stronghold after its capture in 1147 by King Afonso Henriques. In 1185, the castle was granted to the Order of Santiago, a military religious order that played a critical role in Portugal's southern campaigns. Palmela became the headquarters of the order, and significant fortification and monastic construction followed, transforming it into a fortified monastery palace. The massive curtain walls, towers, and cisterns reveal its military significance, while the cloisters and convent areas reflect its religious and administrative role. The castle held strategic importance well into the Napoleonic Wars, when it served as a lookout over the Setúbal Peninsula. Today, parts of the castle house a luxurious posada, a historic inn, while the rest is open for public visits. From its battlements, you can view the Atlantic Ocean, the Tagus River, and even Lisbon on clear days. Castle of Beja. What do Romans, Moors, and kings all have in common? The answer might be the Castle of Beja. Located in the southern Alentejo town of Beja, this fortress sits on ground that has been continuously occupied since Roman times when the settlement was called Pax Julia. The current Castle of Beja was built in the 13th century by King Dinis atop older foundations and played a strategic role in Portugal's southward expansion during the Reconquista. Its towering 40-meter-high keep, the tallest in Portugal, is built from gleaming white marble and commands sweeping views of the surrounding plains. The castle helped protect Portuguese territory during the wars with Castile and again during the Restoration War. Today, you can climb the tower's spiral staircases, explore the inner courtyards, and see remnants of both Moorish and Roman construction beneath the medieval structure. The nearby regional museum helps contextualize the town's layered past. The Castle of Beja is not just a relic, it's a visible palimpsest of civilizations that shaped southern Portugal. Castle of Arraiolos. What do embroidery and fortresses have in common? In the town of Arraiolos, famed for its handmade rugs, sits the Castle of Arraiolos, an unusual round-walled castle that reflects both medieval strategy and rural charm. Built in the early 14th century under King Dinis, it was part of a network of castles designed to secure the Alentejo region from Castilian invasions. Unlike many castles perched on sheer cliffs, Arraiolos stands atop a modest hill that allows for a 360-degree line of sight across the plains, a practical choice for early warning and defense. What sets this castle apart is its circular wall, a rare feature in Portuguese fortification, enclosing not just military structures, but also the Church of the Savior. Over time, as military needs declined, the site became more symbolic than strategic. Today, you can walk the full perimeter of the walls, explore the ruins of towers, and enjoy views of both the town and the sprawling countryside where the famous Arraiolos carpets are still woven. The castle is a quiet yet evocative reminder of Portugal's medieval fortification system and the enduring legacy of local traditions. From hilltop fortresses guarding the frontiers to hidden Templar sanctuaries, Portugal's castles aren't just relics. They're powerful links to the country's past. If you enjoyed this journey through Portugal's most fascinating castles, give this video a like, drop a comment with your favorite, and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into history, travel, and hidden gems across the world. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an adventure. Thanks for watching. Until next time, happy travels!